Here's your Jazel Auto News update for November 8th.
And the big story this week is the 2025 Ram 1500 was unveiled with some updated styling. And kind of the biggest news is a change in powertrain. So they're switching away from the Hemi V8 that they've been using since the early 2000s and are going to their new Hurricane inline six turbocharged engines, which actually produce a little bit more power, up to 540 horsepower.
Yeah, I think they're kind of taking the steps that all the other manufacturers that kind of took on the big trucks, is dropping from the big V8 to the six, because the V8's kind of their bloodline. So I feel like that's almost they're a step behind, as well as being a step behind in the EV, because you don't see anything EV from them. So I think they're getting slow to the market, but it's a good change. More horsepower, probably much better gas mileage. So can't really knock them. Good change. Just a little late, I think.
And kind of going along with that, they did announce the Ram Charger, which is their new plug-in hybrid, and I think they actually have kind of a better system than I think like Ford or even GM does, in terms that it has about 140 miles of electric range, but it also still keeps a V6 as a backup generator, so you can get that kind of super long range. I think they say up to 690 miles of combined electric plus gas.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. 663 horsepower all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
call
it's
it a
interesting. It's a what's called a series hybrid, which means like the gas engine doesn't ever actually drive the wheels like a traditional hybrid does. It's
oh
only used as a
weird.
generator, and all the power is electric. So you kind of get the cool instant torque of the
Yeah,
electric powertrain, but you don't have to worry about charging up if you're like out camping or hauling something long distance. You don't have to worry too much about charging unless you have some time to do that.
that's kind of where I'm stuck too. Is I like a plug-in hybrid, like that can get a decent amount of mileage, even if it's like 35 or whatever it is, just cruise around town. Because if you run out of battery, you're just still going. Other
Yeah.
than, obviously if it's a full hybrid or full electric.
And Ram also announced the successor to the TRX, which was the Hellcat powered off-road truck that they had before, and they're replacing it with something called the RHO, which fortunately is down on horsepower. It has 540 versus 702 horsepower, but it still gets a lot of the same off-road equipment and the wide body look and all that kind of stuff.
Didn't we just see the article before this about the same Ram with the same engine?
Yeah.
So I feel like, so what, now you're just going to you're going to call it a TRX, but put the same engine, and we know that now you have an electric hybrid that has more? I feel like they're not.
I think they're kind of hinting that they may come out with a new TRX. This isn't quite the replacement for the TRX, but it'll be probably a plug-in hybrid with a little bit more power.
And not
Seems
stupid
to be what
wheels, hopefully, because you can't have stupid wheels on a TRX.
And even though Dodge is discontinuing the Hemi V8 in its production cars, they are going to let you buy the 6.2-liter Demon 170 crate engine for whatever you want to put it in for $28,000.
That's crazy. I actually saw just on Instagram, in Missouri, they had one of the last Demon 170s, and it had a $225,000 markup on the car. So it was $335,000 for it. And you can actually, I mean, the biggest thing in there is the powertrain, obviously the engine. So I mean, I feel like for 28 grand, you drop that thing in Garrett's and no one even knows it's coming.
And Toyota has announced that they're going to be debuting the Crown SUV for the US market on November 14th. Looks like it's going to be kind of a mid-size hybrid SUV, possibly a replacement for the Venza, but they haven't really announced if that's true or not yet.
I don't like teases that show you like nothing, right? Like, I feel like if you're a Toyota, you need to really go for it, because it's not like there's a huge demand for your Crown in the States. So it's like, I feel like you should show more so people actually get a feel for what it is, because it just looks like an SUV to me.
Yeah. And after 24 years on the market and 3 generations, Audi is going to be discontinuing the TT Roadster. And they're kind of doing a final edition for the US that'll be like 50 limited edition models that are all going to be in this, they call it Goodwood Green Pearl paint.
Yeah, it says starting at 68, but no way if there's only 50. I don't know. I love Audis, but I've never been a fan of the TT ever, just not even remotely. So, who picks green for a final edition?
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. Kind of got a British kind of color scheme with the green paint and the brown interior.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know.
And our last story today is an Italian company called Ares is going to come out with a S1 hypercar that's actually based on the new C8 Corvette. But definitely looks like an Italian exotic.
Were those gull wing doors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool. I think you have a lot of knockoff, or I shouldn't even say knockoff, a lot of these one supercar people you never really hear about. There's 24. I'm sure they're cool, but it's like that car's going to be $1 million plus bucks, and it's on a
based on a
C8
car that's
platform.
about $70,000. Yeah.
Yeah, like so, and I'm interested on what's under the hood. That's what I really want to know, because if it's just it has Z51 performance seats. Like, it's just the same car, but what's the engine? Are they just run the same engine that's in it?
It's like it's the LT2, but with a little bit of extra tuning.
$1 million for a Vet with gull wing doors, I'm good.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms, Instagram, X, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and of course, here on YouTube, where you can like, comment, and subscribe to follow us for more content coming soon.